Jose, thanks for your time. You said after the match yesterday that everyone could see that it was a penalty against Harry Kane. Everyone, it seems today, could see it, including Dermot.
I told everybody. When I say everybody, I say everybody. Was an easy one. Was an easy one. Sometimes there is a little bit of a margin for an individual interpretation, but this was not the case. Was too easy. Was too easy that I understood it, and I was like 50 or 60 meters distant from the goal.
As an experienced manager and coach, can you use injustice at Sheffield United last night, Eric Dyer's 4-match suspension, to inspire players even more, a kind of siege mentality?
I don't want to go in that direction, you know. I wouldn't even like to speak with you more than I already did about it. We know. The players on the pitch, they know better than anyone. They have the feeling, and they compare with other matches, with other teams, with other actions, and of course is a bad feeling. That feeling can destroy a little bit your motivation, but as you can imagine, also because you are asking, and if you ask is because you have that feeling, it can also be used. If you are a strong mentality, can also be used in a way of let's fight against it and let's show that we are stronger than that. But as you could see yesterday, we were not a very strong performance, and when the performance is not very strong, these important moments of matches become much more important. And of course was a very important moment of the game, but that's it, that's finished. And I think I'm here to speak about Arsenal, so I would prefer to stop speaking about the match yesterday and that important moment of the game.
Okay, so moving on to Arsenal, interesting choice of referee.
I cannot speak about it. I don't like to speak about it. I feel free to comment referees' performances after the performances, but I don't like, and I know that I can't, by the legal point of view, make any comment before matches, and that's it.
Without mentioning names, but just as speaking about a human being, if a human being realizes that maybe they've made a mistake, they've done somebody a disservice, even subconsciously, can they try and make amends for that?
I'm not going to comment.
3 clean sheets, Jose, out of the last 4 games. That's something to build on, isn't it?
That's very good, but we are not scoring enough goals. We are not being dangerous enough to the offensive mind teams that we have on the pitch. To defend better, to concede less goals, to keep some clean sheets is something obviously very important for the team, but we want to be attacking minded. As you can see, we have always lots of attacking players on the pitch. We did it many times with 4 or 5 attacking players. We did it many times only with one proper positional midfield player. A part of that, everything is about attacking players. When we make changes during the game, we always try to go in the direction of the risk. But we arrive in very dangerous positions. We arrive in so many times in crossing positions. We have very good percentages of ball possession. We spend the majority of the time in the opponent's half, but no sharpness, not objective. Always one more touch in the ball, not clear, aggressive, sharp, killer decisions to go direct to goal. And in the end, you get some stats that are not really the game, because when, for example, yesterday the stats are 0 shots on target. Yes, 0 shots on target, but how many times did we shoot? How many times we appeared in crossing positions? How many times we lost the last cross? How many times we lost the last pass? So we want to try to keep this defensive organization that is giving us, a part of Sheffield's 3 goals, is giving us good numbers, and a team that was so hard to have a clean sheet, certainly in a short period has 3, but we need to score goals. And in this moment there is a contradiction between the teams that we have on the pitch with so many attacking players and our production. That's the reality now.
Just finally from me, Jose, Mikel Arteta's been talking about the game and about you. He says you're a world-class manager. You can see what you're trying to do. You've had injury problems. You've won everywhere and you will win again. Could I ask you whether or not you return the compliment in terms of the job that he's doing?
Look, I met Mikel when Mikel was a kid in Barcelona. I was there with Mr. Van Gaal. Mikel was a kid, really a kid. So I know him from there. And when you know these kids at this age, time flies. But in the end, you always look at them as the kid that you have a great feeling for. When you become a Pep assistant, in a funny way, I start calling him every time I meet him, Mr., not Mikel anymore, Mr. So we had always a laugh on this. And of course, I like him very, very much. I hope everything goes well for him in his career. But I have to admit that in this moment he is in a rival club, a club that fights in this moment for the same as we fight, which is an European position. And I cannot wish him good in this situation. The nature of his job is quite similar to mine. Is quite similar to Carlo, which is you arrive in the middle of the season, and then is a double focus, which is not easy. Which is, by one side, you want to try the best results immediately, but by another side, you have an eye in the future. What you want is to build your own team. What you want is to start the next season. So for me, for Carlo, for Mikel, is this kind of job. When you are on a relegation fight, I would say, for example, Neil Warnock going there, he knows that he needs a certain number of points to keep the division with this club. He knows exactly what he has to do that. In our case, I think it's different because we are speaking about very important clubs that want to do better in the future, and this is half now, is half in the future. So I think we all are desperate to have end of season, holiday, preparation, pre-season, and start a new season. But the reality is that we have to fight for points, and in this case, points mean an Europa competition position, and points means also a special rival feeling between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur.
Thank you.
Cheers, Gary. If you could mute yourself, and we'll move on to Adam at PLP. Adam, I think you need to unmute yourself.
Hi, Jose. It's the first North London derby at the new stadium. No fans. How will that might affect the players' mindset, do you think, going into the match, a game of such magnitude?
It's so sad. Best stadium in the world. Great rival history in North London. Two big clubs. I think I can imagine would be a very special, magnificent atmosphere in the stadium, in the streets, in North London. I think we all feel sorry. I can imagine that, of course, Arsenal prefers to play behind closed doors because it would be our advantage. But I think maybe even them would have a special motivation to come to us with that special atmosphere that we love in football. But I think we have to do what we are trying all to do. I heard also some other managers. I remember, for example, Nuno saying that is hard, is sad to play like this. I think we all have that feeling. And Ancelotti told me the same. Jose, what a stadium! Pity to be empty. So I think we have all this feeling, but in the end, we have to compete. These matches are deciding not the champion, but are deciding Champions League, Europa League, relegation. So they are proper matches. In the end, they are proper matches, and we have to try to forget the situation and just to compete and to try to play well and to win.
Thanks, Jose.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to Ian at TalkSport. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, Jose.
Hey.
Hey, how are you? I spoke to you last week about drinks break. I didn't get the impression you were a big fan of the drinks break. And obviously, today you've spoken about VAR off the back of two recent decisions. Has this sport changed since the one you fell in love with as a kid and wanted to be a coach?
Of course it changed.
For the better? For the worse?
It's just different. I believe some better things. I believe some things that probably people from a certain generation that grew up with a certain football that people doesn't enjoy it so much. I don't celebrate goals anymore because I never know. I never know when it is a goal or not a goal. Even if I have the feeling that it is, but maybe happened something 6 or 7 seconds before that I didn't realize, and then is not a goal. But in other things, I just feel for better, because if we forget what happened at Villa Sheffield with the hawk eye, with the goal line technology, if we forget that situation, I think goal line technology is fantastic. Even if I didn't win against Watford with a 1 millimeter non-goal, I accept it because is yes or no. In other situations, I think some disgraceful decisions But that's the way it is.
You talked about the lack of goals just now from your team. I get the impression it really frustrates you because you have a forward line that is capable of scoring as many goals as United, who scored over 100 this year, as Liverpool. I mean, there's some seriously good players up front. But they need to have a look at themselves.
United 13 penalties is a help.
Okay.
Is a help.
Do your strikers need to have a little bit of a look at themselves in the summer then? Do they need to improve it a little bit?
No. Our attacking players are very good. We cannot get better players than what we have. I like them all. And one thing is we are not scoring goals. Another thing is the players are not good enough. And my players are very good. So in relation to market, I don't want to replace my attacking players.
And final one from me, you've been involved in derby matches all around the world. You know how important it is to win a derby match, and obviously in this part of London, for Spurs to finish above Arsenal as they have in the last few years.
You know, in this moment, we are both in a very similar situation. It's not that incredible emotion of we are fighting for something really big, more than to finish above you or not to finish above you. I think he's missing that. You know, it's not a match that is going to decide big things, but probably decides the only thing that we can fight for, both of us. I don't think realistically us or them are fighting for the Champions League position. So I think we are fighting for the only thing that we can fight for. 1 point distance, 4 matches to go, 1 match is between us. Then the remaining 3, of course, are still important. It is a big match for the table. It's a big match for the table. In the top of that, there is a rivalry that probably some of the players of both sides, they don't understand very well. Some do, some don't. I think it's important for the players that know what it means, that they make the others understand what it means. Because in the end, the club is made by and for the fans, and the fans, they have a special feeling for this match, so the people that is on the pitch has to fight for them.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, yeah. Move on to George at 5 Live.
How many more? 2?
George, Alistair, and then the written section.
Jose, hello. You mentioned Manchester United and penalties. How did Bruno Fernandes get a penalty yesterday and Harry Kane didn't?
Excuse me?
You mentioned the number of penalties Manchester United are getting. How comes Bruno Fernandes got a penalty yesterday with VAR and Harry Kane didn't?
Ask the referees, not me. I don't know who the referee was. I was Jonathan Moss, but I don't know who the VAR was at Villa. In our match was Paul, the referee on the pitch, and the referee boss was Michael Oliver. I think you should have access to them. I know the rules don't allow it. I think you should have access to them and to ask directly why.
You think that they should be made to maybe do interviews after the match? That would help?
Yeah.
That would help. And
they are very important. They are very important in a game. A game is players, managers, referees. I think so.
What's stopping it, do you think? What's stopping that happening?
George, sorry.
Nothing. Would stop nothing. Would make things much more open, much more clear. Would give the referee the chance to say, yes, I made a mistake. Yes, I feel sorry for that. Yes, I had an incredible performance. Yes, I feel that I was perfect. I think they are very, very important in the game, as important as players.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, George. Last one in this section will be Alistair.
Hi there, Jose.
Hey, Alison.
Hi there. I just want to ask you, you're quite proactive with your substitutions yesterday. One of those was Tongayon Dembele. I just wondered what you made of his performance and whether he brought you some of the things you've been looking for from him.
I had Giovanni with a problem. He was kicked in the ankle. He was not feeling comfortable. He was also coming from 90 minutes, very hard against Everton. The feeling was we are going to have the ball. We are going to have space to play, not space to penetrate, but space to play, space to have the ball. And with the midfield players that I had on the bench, Skip, Jetson, the kid Harvey, Tanguy, I felt that he was the one, obviously, with that talent to move the ball. I think he was same level as the team, not better, not worse.
Can I ask you, is Dele available or not for the weekend?
No.
No. And just one very quick last one I wanted to ask. The trailer for the Amazon documentary came out today, and it features you very heavily in it. I just wondered whether, being a manager with your experience and having wanted to keep certain things in-house at times, things that go on behind the scenes, have you got any concerns at all about the impact it might have?
I tried to forget them during the time. If you ask me something that I enjoy, no. I don't like the feeling of being in the Big Brother. But I tried to forget them, and I think I managed to do that for the majority of the time. So I have no idea what is there. I have not concerns. It's just nothing is fake. Everything is real. I think for them must be great because they have the day by day 24 hours of what a football club is, a dressing room is. I think they have it everything, and so real. Nobody acted for it. It's just the way it is. Am I going to watch it? No, I'm not. It's not something that I want to. Also because I know better than anyone what is our day by day here. But I think will be very, very interesting for the people that loves football and loves sports, and I think it's going to be great for them. I think it's going to be really great for them.
Thanks, Jose.